Hey guys, welcome back to Vertical Momentum. I'm your host, Richard Kaufman, also known as the Comeback Coach. Guys, tonight it's going to be a very special night. My brother Carl and I talk two Jersey boys. We're going to be talking about how to change your mind and actually how to reverse engineer your mindset for success. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about NLP. So it's going to be a fun conversation. It's going to be 30 minutes, hitting hard. So thank you for hanging out with us. Carl, my brother, what's up?
Richard, how you been, man? How's everything going?
I'm doing awesome, and I want to give a big shout out to Josh Danson for putting us together. Without him, we will not be talking today. So first question right out of the gate, what is your definition of resiliency?
Resilience is wow. That's like, first of all, I'd like to thank Josh, like you said. Josh is our VP of National Business Expansion here at Zev University. So he's doing things for us all over the country. We're expanding. And when it comes down to resilience, for me, that's almost like being a chameleon. You know, you got to be able to adapt. Certain obstacles, certain changes in your life come up, and you have to have that open mindset to be able to make changes, sometimes on the fly. Sometimes you might be doing something one way, and it could be a year, 2 years down the road, you need to make adjustments. And that's where our training comes in. So resilience to me is that ability to be that chameleon, to be able to adapt to your change, your environment, be able to work outside of the comfort zone and outside that comfort box, and just keep your mind growing. And that's what resilience is to me.
I love it. So give us a quick down and dirty about who you are, where you come from, and how did you get into this crazy world of the mind and learning about NLP and stuff like that.
Yes. I've been in this space for about 25 years. I started out as a sales professional in the auto industry, and I was very successful at it. And I eventually got into management, finance, and of the auto industry. And I really wanted to know what it really took for someone to be successful, because we've all seen people that we might know, grew up with, they're very talented, and they don't reach that level of success that everyone expects them to. And it's not that they don't want to, they just don't understand how the human mind works. So we started a company about 25 years ago, right in the New York, New Jersey area. Believe it or not, we will go around to all the car dealerships, real estate offices, high appliance stores, and offer our sales training and coaching to their sales staff. And we realized that we can give these sales professionals all the tools that we can give them back then. This is when NLP was just taking off, neuro-linguistic programming, and sales training becoming big, and was really, people started understanding it really wasn't about the product, but it was about the person and their personality and how they connect to their audience. So we realized about 3 or 4 years into our coaching industry, our coaching businesses, that we can pretty much give any salesperson all the tools they need to succeed in life. But if they don't have the right mindset to intake that information we're giving them, that's going to be almost like a waste of time. They're not going to take this information, they're not going to run with it, and they're not going to improve their performance and close more deals and just build stronger relationships and earn more money for themselves and the organization, the company that they're working for. So we decided to take a step back and try to find out what it really takes for someone to be successful, what it takes for that person to go from point A to point B. And it doesn't matter where you're at in your career or your life, there's always the opportunity for you to get from where you at today to where you want to be today, where you want to be in the future. So we decided to dig deep into the human mind, and we found out that there's multiple parts of the human mind. And we're not talking about the brain itself. The brain is the hardware. We're talking about the mind itself. You have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And what we found out over our years of research and studying it, and I became an expert in NLP. I started studying NLP about 25 years ago, about 22 years ago, and learning that the subconscious mind controls everything that we do throughout the day, from the time we get up, the time we eat, what we eat, the car we drive, the people we hang around with, our friends and family, type of profession we're in, the earnings of our income, the relationships, everything is based off the subconscious mind. And what we realize is that the subconscious mind is almost like running your body and yourself on autopilot, and it's based off of all your life experiences throughout the years. your environment, where you grew up with, who was your friends, your family, the school you went to, if you played any sports, what type of trauma you might have experienced in life. All these things are developed into your subconscious mind and turns out to be what they call your paradigm. And then I learned about your paradigm by studying under Bob Proctor. Started studying under Bob, God rest his soul. He passed a few years ago. He's one of the godfathers of this personal development, self-help industry in the subconscious mind. So I started studying under Bob Proctor with the paradigm and understanding how important it is to know what you're doing throughout the day, 7 days a week, every day of the year. And that's really what brought us into what we are today, which is a high performance mindset training firm. And we teach NLP and EQ to executives, business owners, entrepreneurs, and high net worth sales professionals.
All right. So we got so many different things we can talk about.
Yes.
I first got introduced to NLP through Mr. Tony Robbins.
Okay.
When I was a teenager, when he would actually sell tapes, and I actually had the tapes of Awaken the Giant Within.
Yes.
But I really started going deep into it till about 10 years ago when I listened to it again. And then I realized, okay, well, I can change my mind. I just have to take the tape out and replace it with something else. Because
Exactly.
if I can't repeat the same thing over and over again and
Right.
expect different results, that's called insanity.
Yes.
So, but a lot of people don't think that you can literally change your mind. So when somebody comes and talks to you and sits in front of you and says, Carl, I need help to change my mind, what is the first thing you tell that person?
How bad do you want it? That's the first question that we ask, because it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be the hardest fight they ever go into. It's not, and we're not talking about a physical fight. We talk about a mental toughness fight that you're going to be fighting against yourself, because you've been programmed to do certain things every day. And you realize that the activities that you're having or that you're doing is not taking you closer to your goals. It's taking you further away from your goals. So the first question that we ask all of our potential clients is, how bad do you really want it? What are you willing to sacrifice? And let's put a timeline on it and figure out if we can customize a plan for you to get you to the goals that you want to reach. And what people don't understand is that what they're doing every day, your daily habits, is either taking them to their goals or away from the goals. So the next question we ask after we ask, how bad do you want it and how serious are you about it, is that what are your life goals? Where do you want to be 90 days from now? Where do you want to be a year from now, 3 years, 5 years out? Where do you want to be? And then we look at your daily habits within that 24-hour schedule, 7 days a week. And we look at everything that you do from the time you get up, how much time you spend watching TV, are you exercising? If you're trying to lose weight, what type of food you eat, what type of money you earn, is this the lifestyle you want? And we look at everything that you do throughout this 24 hours or 7 days a week. And then we analyze that compared to what your goals are. And either it's taking you closer to your goals or away from your goals. And that's where our training comes in. So those are the two most important questions that we ask someone that comes to us that say, hey, I'm making $200,000 a year now, but I want to make $500,000 because I want to move to this neighborhood and I need to send my kids to this type of college. Or they say, well, I'm making $60,000 now, but I really want to make that $100,000 a year. I want to make $150,000 per year because I feel like I deserve more, which everyone deserves more in life. So you have to have that burning desire to want it, that why, as we call it, that why. What's your reason, your why for wanting to reach these goals or improve your life? And then we analyze all of that. We mix it all up into a bowl kind of, and then we customize that training for that particular individual based on their life experiences, their daily habits, what they're doing now, the goals they're trying to reach, and how bad do they want it, and what's their reason for wanting to make that change. And that's how we determine it.
And I totally agree with you. And I've been doing this for a long time now. And I've talked to many successful people, millionaires, billionaires, and a lot of them tell me you can't have the work ethic of a thousandaire if you want to be a millionaire.
Exactly.
And you have to have a different thought process. Instead, you have to grow it to the person that you want to be. You can't just be the person that you are now. Because when you see somebody and I've had plenty of dinners and hung out with a lot of influential people, even like Dean Graziosi, when we talked about the 7 whys.
Right.
Why are you doing? Why do you want to have that nice car, nice boat, nice house? And
Exactly.
and they might say, oh, because I like it, but then once
It's
they
like,
get to the 6th or 7th level of the why,
right.
then you'll find out what it really means. So you go, obviously, if you're a friend of Joshua, you go that deep with people about their whys, right?
You have to. It's not just a surface why. You just can't say, well, I want to make $100,000 and then write it down. Well, let's make $100,000. We need to know exactly why you want to make $100,000. What's your plans for using that $100,000? And then once where we figure out what their plans are for that $100,000, then we go deeper into it and be as detailed as possible about why they want that $100,000, what they plan on doing with that $100,000, and have them visualize that. So, for example, if someone says, well, I want to buy a new house in this neighborhood, well, what type of house? I need to go deep into it. I need to know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, the square footage, the color of the house, your furniture. I want you to visualize all of these things, because what happens is that when you do that, when you go that deep level into their why, now their imagination is starting to grow and they start to visualize themselves there. So we help them to project themselves into the future with the training that we have. So you have to, like you said, you can't have a thousandaire million mindset and expect to be a millionaire. In order for you to become a millionaire, you have to automatically start thinking like you are a millionaire. You have to project yourself into the future with your mind, and then everything else that's physical, the body itself will follow. So you have to be able to train your mind to project yourself into the future to where you want to be at that particular moment, and then the body will lead. So the mind has to be more powerful than the body. The problem is that 99% of people letting their body control their mind, and not letting their mind control their body. And that's the reason why they're not reaching the goals that they want to reach in life.
And now I'm going to piss off a couple people, but that's okay. This
Yeah,
is my show. I can do what I want to do.
that's right.
A lot of people are so worried about what aunt and their aunts and their uncles and with their cousins say about them, that, oh, because I grew up in the streets. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, I'm from Newark too. I'm from Newark.
You know, I went to Barringer.
I went to Beverages.
See, so I know that people are saying, but you're not supposed to be sitting on stages with Mr. Russell Brunson. You're not supposed to be. That's not for you. That's not for us.
Right.
And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
Right.
So, but a lot of us, in order to move on ahead in life, I think even Mr. Jim Rohn said it. It's the power of the people, the 5 people you hang out with the most, that
Exactly.
sometimes you have to cut out people from your life because they have that negative mindset and they can't get you where you need to be. So talk about how important that is, how important proximity is to success.
It's probably one of the most important things, is that we're so concerned and so conditioned to worry about what others may think or say about us. And then you realize as you get older, you say you got to get to the point where I don't give a damn what people think. But you got to have that mindset in the beginning when you're in your 20s, in your 30s, and your 40s, and when you have that energy and you have that desire to make a change in life. So we teach our clients that, God rest his soul, you got to be almost like Kobe Bryant. Don't pass the ball. Think about yourself. Think about yourself. Don't worry about your friends. Don't worry about your family. Don't worry about your coworkers. Think about you, what it is that you want in life, and you got to be able to block out all that negativity that's around you and just go for it. Don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about what they say. They're going to talk about you regardless, whether you're doing something good or bad. But if you're moving forward, they can say whatever they want, but you're living the life that you want. And that's one of the biggest things that hold people back, is that they're so concerned about their friends and family, and why do if I move forward, I'm leaving them behind. You can't save everybody. You got to save yourself first before you save anyone else. And we teach them with that through our mental mindset and mental toughness training, to be able to just learn how to say no. Learn how to say no at times. Learn how to say, no, this is my new schedule. I can't hang out with you guys. This is what I'm doing. I'm working on. I can't help you move this furniture this Saturday because I'm going to be studying. I'm going to a seminar. You have to be able to put yourself first. And that's one of the biggest things that hold people back. As they get older, they say, wow, you know what? I wish I could have, should have type mentality or statement. And they say, well, I should have did this. I should have did that. And time has gone by. And before you know it, 5, 10, 20 years, 30 years go by, and they still in the same place, not really reaching their full potential in life because they're concerned about what other people may think or say or do.
Now, let's talk about the Mamba mentality, because I'm a LA Lakers fan since I've been a child. Kobe's my favorite player of all time. And something that I love about the Kobe mentality is, Kobe once told him, he said, one of his teammates, I think it was Rick Fox, once told him, hey, Kobe, stay in your lane. He says, I stay in my lane, but I dominate that motherfucker. This is my lane. So, but he also, the night after winning a championship, he's back in the gym 5 a.m. shooting 1,000 free throws.
Yeah.
So that's what made him the Mamba, the Black Mamba.
The Black Mamba.
So let's talk about that, the winning mindset, because a lot of times, if somebody has a win, they rest on their laurels for a while. That's why there's not a whole lot of back-to-back Super Bowl champions, because usually once somebody wins a championship, they get fat, dumb, and happy.
Yeah,
so
we see it all the time.
About the Mamba mentality.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, let's go back to one of my favorite movies. I'm quite sure one of your favorite movies. Let's go back to Rocky 1, going into Rocky 2, into Rocky 3. I mean, Rocky had that killer instinct in the beginning, that eye of the tiger, right? Then when he won the championship, he started getting a little fat. He's got the Lamborghini or the Maserati. He's got the tailor-made suits. He's not, his fights are not as tough as they are. And then Clubber Lang comes along, tough guy that has the same eye of the tiger that Rocky had, and Rocky loses, because what happens is that when people reach a level of success, they think I can sit back and relax. But in reality, you got to work even harder, because now there's more people shooting for you. There's more obstacles that you got to overcome. There's more that's going to hold you back because you're at a high level of success. The higher the level of success that you are, the tougher you have to get. The mental toughness has to kick in even harder, because that fall is a lot greater. It's a longer distance to fall from the top than midway or just at the bottom. So that fall is going to be harder. It's going to be a harder fall. So you got to be mentally tough in order to do that. So that mentality is really something that we call self-awareness. You have to be aware of where you're at all the time. Kobe was aware that, hey, yeah, we just won a championship, but I need another championship. I need to get better. I missed 6 or 7 shots. I could have did better. And he's back in the gym where everyone else is out partying. And that's the reason why Kobe had the mobile mentality. I mean, because there's very few people that can do that, what he did. Now, he wasn't, and everybody tell you that he wasn't the most talented, but man, when it came down to mentally tough and just that fighter instinct, that's what Kobe had. And that's what we teach here at Zev University, that mental toughness that it takes to get to the next level. I just was down in Tampa last year on stage speaking with A-Rod and Myron Golden and Tucker Carlson and a few others. And I was talking about that mental toughness after you get to a certain level of success. So we teach our clients. Clients come to us and they say, well, I'm making $250,000. I want to make $500,000. And then when they get to the $500,000, I don't need them to relax. There's not a time to relax because there's more to be achieved. So now I need you to focus even harder. And some people say, why you grind so much? Why are you working so hard? Because it's that mental challenge, that challenge. See, the harder you work, the more you're going to achieve. Now, if you feel that that's your glass ceiling, that's where you want to stop at $500,000, that's up to you. But we have clients that say, listen, I want more. I want to keep thinking outside the box. I want to work outside the box. I want to grind more. I want to earn more for me and my family. That mental challenge, you're just constantly challenging yourself. And that's what we teach here at Zev University, High Performance Mindset Training.
All right, so let's talk, because you might get a person like me. I did 23 years in the military. I got hurt. I got medically retired, and I had to start my whole new career over. I had to start my life over. And a lot of people, sometimes when they get to the age of 50, 55, I just turned 56. And last week, and I'm just getting started. I
Exactly.
ain't ready to quit. So talk about for the people that they're no longer competing in life. They're just like, I'm 55. I'm just enjoying life, getting ready to die. And there's a lot of people like that are like that out
Whew.
there.
I
So
stay away from them, man. I
so
stay
talk
away.
to
I stay away
talk to
from them.
us.
I stay away from them. Let me tell you something. I used to live in South Jersey, right in Toms River, Manchester area, and I realized one day going into the shop, right, that I was not too far from a retirement community. And when I realized that, within 6 months, I was out of there, because the next step after retirement is typically what? Death. I have no desire to get involved in that environment, that type of mentality, that type of mindset. So if you're in your 50s, or you could be in your 60s, hey, we all expect to live as long as we want, right? So as long as you're here, you might as well give your all and live the best or the fullest life you can possibly live. And how do you do that? It's all about mindset. It's not about sitting back, say, I'm going to retire and get in the rocking chair and just rock my way right into the grave. No, that's not what it's about. Surround yourself with the right people, with the right mindset. Remember, like you said, who your 5 friends are. Surround yourself with people that are going places, that has that positive energy, that's willing to think outside the box. You don't want to be hanging around people that have a fixed mindset. You want to hang around people that have a growth mindset. Get out, stay active, make things happen, go for a walk, go to the gym, go fishing, do something. Don't sit on your ass all day, because eventually that's going to catch up with you and you're going to find yourself, in a box, and we don't want that. There's no reason for that. Um, there's a saying where the older you are, you're supposed to relax and go on and retire and things like that. I have no intentions of ever doing that. No intentions at all. It's all about understanding the mindset and how you feel about yourself. And most of my clients don't realize my age when I tell them. They can't believe it, but it's all about mindset. So I'm up in the morning, I go to the gym, I eat right, I exercise, I socialize with people that have a growth mindset, positive energy. I reduce my stress, I meditate, and that keeps me young, keeps me going, keeps me active. And I'm here to live as long as I possibly can. Just like you, Richard, you want to live as long as you possibly can, but you also want to live healthy and happy and active. And that's something that we also teach you how to do here at Zeb Universe. So it is about earning a good living. This is about creating a good lifestyle for you and your family, but it's about also enjoying it as you get older, being able to go for a walk with your grandchildren, or play with them, or ride a bike, or go swimming, go to the beach, or go on a roller coaster ride, in your 50s or 60s. I know people that say, oh, I would never do that. I might have a heart attack. Well, you gotta challenge yourself. And I think what happens, society has a way of programming us to, like you said, you work from your 20s up until your late 50s, and then you get a retirement, and then you go off to the slaughterhouse, as they say. Who says we have to live like that? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to be the old guy in the club, right? 90 years old, in the club, dancing with his shirt open and his chains and his cane, and they're gonna be like, "Go, grandpa, go, grandpa." I'm gonna be still out there getting it on, man, because I'm going to live life to the fullest. I'm not going to live the norm. If the crowd or the herd is going to the right, most likely I'm going to go to the left. And that's the way I've always programmed myself, my mindset, to think like that. And I think it works. It works great for me. And it
But
works great for my clients.
but then again, champions hang out with champions,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
and also champions know how to take care of themselves. They know how proper nutrition is important, how working out is important, how rest and relaxation is important. I mean, if you look at LeBron, now I'm not a big LeBron fan. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm not a LeBron fan. But
Okay.
what he's doing at the age of 40, and you look at him, there's not an ounce of body fat on that man.
None.
And he can still go 40 minutes any day of the week, but he makes sure he takes care of his body. He rests, he recovers. So
Right.
how important is mental rest and also physical and mental recovery?
It's one of the most important things. I mean, you have to rest your body. You have to be able to reduce your stress. How do you do that? There's many ways you can do that. One of the ways I reduce my stress is try not to put myself in a stressful situation, first of all. So be self-aware of what you're doing throughout the day, the week, the month, the environment that you're going into. There's times where I know I have to go into Manhattan to see a client. Why should I drive? I'll just catch a train right to Penn Station and catch Uber from there. That eliminates stress, the headaches of being in traffic. Be aware of what you're doing with your time. Be aware of how learn how to meditate, something that we teach. We look at helping our clients from a holistic perspective. Everything that we do here at ZU is holistic. Meditation, visualization. We have sessions regarding that. So we help our clients to reduce stress, anxiety, and headaches by looking at it from a holistic perspective. It's not just about mindset training, but it's also about getting your body back in order, eating right, learning how to fast, how to clean your system out, because that has a major role in it too, what you eat. Now, we don't consider ourselves to be nutritionists, but we have people on staff that can help you redo your eating habits and things of that nature. And then it's going to help you reduce the stress and anxiety from eating less processed food and try to eat more fruits and vegetables and drink water and exercise. When you do all these things, it's going to reduce a lot of anxiety and stress, which means it's going to help you live longer, a more calm life. And that's how you build up that mentality to where when you're calm, you're not stressed out. But when you're stressed out, stress could bring a lot of diseases and things like that, and headaches and migraines and stress on your body and your mind, and it all will affect you. So be self-aware of the situations that you're going into, and learn how to reduce the stress just by being self-aware of what you're doing.
All right, so now this is a teaching podcast. So my perfect avatar is a 45-year-old male, a veteran, father of 3, brand new business owner. So what would be your top 3 pieces of advice if somebody is looking to shed the way that they used to be and move into becoming a new man? What would be your top 3 pieces of advice?
Top 3 pieces of advice will be, first of all, determine what your true why is, why you want to do it. Maybe it's your family. Maybe you have young children. Maybe you just want to prolong your life. That's the first important thing. Figure out what your why is. And then from there, learn or study your daily habits. What are you doing with your time? We waste so much time, 4 to 5 hours a day, the American people, watching TV, which is all bullshit, right? We waste so much time watching TV, worrying about sports, worrying about this and that, worrying about reality shows or celebrities. What are you doing with your time? Because once time goes by, you can't get it back. It's not like 20 years ago when you had rollover minutes with Verizon. You can roll them over to the next month. You got to be aware of what you're doing with your time. That's very important. So you figure out what your why is, be concerned about what your time is, and then analyze your daily habits. What are you doing on a daily basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Start from that Monday morning all the way to that Sunday evening, and write down what you're doing. We don't do that because we haven't been taught that, and it's something that they just don't teach in school. But write down what you do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. How many hours are you sleeping? What do you eat? Where are you going? And try to figure out within that 24-hour schedule, what can you do to eliminate some stress? What can you do to improve your life? What can you pull out and what can you plug in? Maybe you need to plug in some reading. Maybe you need to plug in some, you go for a walk 1 hour out a day. Maybe for lunch, instead of having a Pepsi or Coke, maybe drink 2 bottles of water and just work with that. Start slow. It's not going to happen overnight. It's gradually over a period of time. Now, the problem that we all have is that it takes about 65 days for an adult. An adult, we're saying someone that's over the age of 35 to change your habits. When you're in your 20s and your early 30s, you can easily change a habit. But there's an old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And it's hard. It's hard. When you get in your late 30s, your 40s, and your 50s, it's hard as hell to change a habit. It's hard for someone to stop eating that bacon and egg sandwich, every day, or drinking 2 cups of coffee in the morning and putting sugar in it and milk and everything, or just eating a slice of pizza on Friday. It's hard. It's hard to do that. But that's the reason why we designed this system, because we work with you for that period of 65 days. So once you learn how the human mind works, it makes it a lot easier to make a change. So the three things will be: figure out what your why, look at your 24-hour schedule, and realize that you're going into the toughest battle of your life and you can't do it on your own. And the reason why, I can show you example, reason why you can't do it on your own. This time of the year, gyms throughout the United States, their membership rate goes up, right? 300,
Yep.
400%. And for the first 45 days, everybody's in there. You know how difficult it is to go to the gym 65 days straight? And people
Yep.
do the same program every year. I go to the gym, I see the same couples every year for the first month of January. By February, one of them start to fall off. By March, they go into the witness protection program, and you don't see them again until that January. What does that tell you? That tells you that they might want to make a change, but they can't because they're running on autopilot. So you're trying to force yourself to go to the gym and change your diet, but it's never going to work because they don't understand how the human mind works. So figure out your why, figure out your 24-hour schedule, and then even if it's not with us, find yourself a mental mindset coach that's going to help you, that's going to hold you responsible, and that's going to work with you for that 65 days. Because as you start to include that new strategy or that new schedule, it's going to take 65 days. Once you hit that 65th day, 66th day, the subconscious mind automatically takes it and goes in and becomes a regular routine for you. And believe it or not, your body's going to want to crave to wake up in the morning or to go to the gym, or crave 2 bottles of water in the morning. And you start to eliminate those old bad habits. And that's the reason why most people never really reach their level of success, is because they just don't understand how the human mind works. So those are the 3 things I would like to give to someone that's looking to improve themselves.
So now, like everybody I know has got the brand new iPhone, or they got the brand new Android phone. But when I talk about maybe dropping $1,000 on a coach, they're like, "Oh, that's way too much money." But like for me, I tell everybody, if you got a smartphone and you're still dumb, guess what? That's your fault. So
Yeah.
how does somebody get in your ecosystem? How does somebody, because I found out I didn't start becoming successful until I hired a coach. And now my coach is on my staff now. But talk to us, how do we get into your ecosystem? And because I'm in recovery 35 years, 36 years, and something that was told to me that if you sponsor yourself, you're a fool. And I believe the same thing. If you don't have a coach, then you have an issue. So if we want someone to get into your system, how do we get into your system and get coached by you and your staff?
Well, first of all, I'm glad you brought that up, because let's look at you. You're a basketball guy. You love basketball, right?
I'm a basketball guy.
I'm a sports guy. I love basketball. By the way, I love LeBron. I know you don't like LeBron, but I like what he's doing. But let's look at basketball, because these are professionals, right? These are individuals that, I mean, they're making a ton of money, right? They're making millions and millions of dollars. So you would think they will be super focused on their craft and their profession, because they have a lot to lose. I mean, they can lose millions of dollars, endorsements, everything across the board. So you would think they've been playing this sport for their entire lives, all through AAU and high school, college, into the pros. Why would they need a coach? Right? You would think, why would they need a coach? They know exactly how to shoot, how to pass, how to rebound, how to play defense, offense. They know the rules of the game. Why do they need a coach? And the reason why they need a coach is because these organizations spend billions of dollars on these players and the organization itself, and they realize that they have psychiatrists on staff to say, listen, the human mind is different. You can easily get off track. Even though they know exactly what they're doing, they've been doing it for their entire life, they can easily get off track. That jump shot, that free throw that you're throwing up, you might be releasing it too soon. Now, since you're doing it over a period of 20 or 65 days, you're going to automatically assume that you're doing it the right way, because you're running on autopilot. But your coach is looking from the outside in. He's looking over your shoulder and say, hey, Rich, you're releasing the ball too soon. Hold it just a split second, and your free throw percentage is going to go up. That's the difference. You can't do it by yourself. You need a coach. You need a coach in life, just like you need a coach in sports. You need a coach if you're playing basketball, football, golf, whatever it is. And that's the reason why these organizations have these coaches, because they understand that the subconscious mind is controlling everything that they do, that the players do. And as a player, you can't see it, but as a coach, the coach can see the changes in your game, the changes in your shot, the changes in your passing. They can see all the changes because they're looking from an outside in, as what they call a bird's eye view, and they tell you exactly what to do. And that's the reason why they have these people on staff. So if you want to succeed in life, you want to get to the next level, you can't do this shit by yourself. It's impossible. I don't care who you are. I don't care how sharp. There's no one has been successful from point A to point B and did it all by themselves. Everyone has either a mentor or some sort of program or someone helped them along the way. So I tell someone if they're looking to really get to that next level in their life and reach their full potential, and I hate to use the term potential because that means there's a ceiling, but if you want to improve your life, you have to get yourself a coach. There's no other way, because you're going to constantly run on autopilot and you're going to assume you're doing the right thing. It's earlier to what you said, keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. That's called insanity. Well, most people are running on an insanity program because they're thinking things are going to change, but they keep doing the same thing over and over again.
All right, so let me ask you a basketball question.
Yeah.
This is just two friends. This is just two friends sitting down shooting the shit. Do you think if Kobe was playing in 2025 and Luka came on the court looking all sloppy, overweight, and out of condition, how often do you think Luka's getting the ball?
Probably never. Kobe wouldn't go for it. Kobe would not go for it, man. I'm surprised. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they got a life coach over there for him. It's going to help him out, man. Mental toughness coach, because the guy got talent. He dropped 25, 30 pounds. He's going to be really, really hard to stop. So, yeah, but you're right. If Kobe was playing, there's no way. No, Kobe wouldn't stand for it. He probably wouldn't be on the team. Kobe wouldn't have him on the team. There's no way.
I love it. So now, how do we get in touch with you? How do we get into your ecosystem? How do we find you?
Yes, we have, like I said earlier, Josh Danson is our VP of National Development and Personal National Development and Expansion nationwide. We have coaches throughout the country right now. We're expanding. We have coaches in New Mexico, Michigan, California, Jersey, New York, Texas. We have coaches everywhere, and we're expanding throughout the country. So the best way to reach us is right through our website, zevtraining.com. That's ZEV training, all one word.com. Or they can call us at 1-888-226-5051. You can dial extension 704 as for Joshua, or you can dial my extension 701. Or you can reach us at zevuniversity.com. And that's how you reach us, right through social media and right through the web. So we're expanding. We have coaches throughout the nation. We're looking to bring in more coaches, more clients, because there's a great need in what we're doing with everything that's going on out there. It's about mental toughness, because there's going to be some hard times that's going to come down the road. And if you're not mentally tough to handle that, it's going to be twice as hard to get back on your feet. For example, the situation out in California with the fires. I mean, that's a mental toughness situation. You got to be mentally tough to be able to go through that, to have everything burned down and be able to pick yourself up and rebuild and move forward. And life has a way of throwing us a curveball here and now, and every now and then. And there are times when people can't handle that curveball, and there's times that people that can not handle a curveball but still get on their feet and keep moving forward. And that's what we teach at Zev University, how to be mentally tough. And I like to leave you with one other thing. If you write this down and get this to you, it's called TEARS, TEARS. And it means that your thoughts will control your emotions will control your actions, and your actions will control your life results. So if you control your thoughts, you can control your life results. Stay positive, stay focused, stay self-aware, and you can reach the goals that you're trying to reach in life.
And I love it. And guys, make sure you stay away from the news. Stop watching the news because there's nothing good on there for you anyway.
Nothing. Yeah, I haven't watched the news. I asked someone the other day, "What's going on in the news?" And I said, "You know what? I don't even want to know. Just forget about it. Yeah. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news."
All right, guys. So this has been an awesome interview. I love you, brother. Thank you so much, Joshua Danson. I love you, brother. And guys, I always end with this. I'm a big Joel Osteen guy, and something that he says is every morning that we wake up, we have a choice. We could be a victim, or we can be a victor. And if you guys listen to this show, you're no longer victims of your past, but you're victors of your present and your future. Thank you guys for always showing up. Brother, Carl, my brother, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
So much fun.
It's been a pleasure. I told you I went to Beverages also, Blue Bear.
Yep, so we're going to have to get together and go to lunch.
We got to talk, yes. Okay. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother. And guys, remember, vertical momentum. The only way to go is up. I love you guys. Have a great week.